Hello, everybody, and welcome to another Duskmourn draft here on the channel. We're going to be going pick by pick, play by play, talking through everything so you know what to do when you draft this format yourself. I've been really kind of evaluating my own game, some weaknesses maybe to fix. I think one of the things I'm going to focus on in this draft is thinking more about cards in the context of like the deck I'm specifically drafting, because sometimes I like to just think about good cards in general, and I'm like, oh, this card's good, so I'll put it in my deck. I have because like historically sometimes that's been a good strategy. It's just like, okay, I'll have better card quality than opponents, but I think that's an adjustment, a little bit of an adjustment to make. Anyway, Painter's Studio is really nice, gets you good value and buffs up your attackers. There's also Clockwork Percussionist. So those are the main cards I'm picking between. This one's really nice, a good value engine, and I think it is going to be the pick. It fits well into like all of the red decks. It gives you something to sacrifice in black-red. I think Percussionist is great, but this is like a supercharged Percussionist almost. If it wasn't in the pack, though, I would be taking the Percussionist. And then after that, I think I would take Seized from Slumber third, though this pack does kind of fall off a cliff after those two. Painter Studio can kind of go into a lot of different homes, and we get to follow it up with an Irreverent Gremlin, which is a really good card in a red-white aggro deck. And Painter Studio is also fantastic in red-white because you'll end up with like some little 1/1s running around or a couple of 2/2s, and buffing them up +1/+0 is really nice when you are attacking all the time. So far, so good on the first couple of picks, being synergistic, being powerful. Next cards in line, I don't think taking Hand That Feeds would be good here because it's too much of a power level drop-off. There is, if I wanted to go with Painter Studio's best home of red-white, I could take Seized from Slumber, though this is much better if you're like a defensive deck, which not a lot of white decks are. Sometimes you're still on the back foot, though. I think Meat Locker might be a little bit better, but I don't really want to go into that direction. It doesn't really... I mean, Blue-Red's not really that sort of deck. So this pack would be a lot worse if there wasn't an Irreverent Gremlin. I think for what it's worth, I would probably take Seized from Slumber, because I think it's fine, like solid in red-white, but it's a tough pick there. Second pack there. Or I could see Meat Locker being the correct call. Ooh, and now I get to take Fear of Being Hunted. I really like Fear of Being Hunted, and I actually do think it is better than Scorching Dragonfire. It is unfortunate that we're going to be passing a Most Valuable Slayer and a Scorching Dragonfire, but seeing one of these pick 3 is a really good sign. I also love Glimmerlight now. That's my new... I used to be kind of like dismissive of the card, but I think it's really good. And especially in these decks where you're going to have like some 1/1s, and so then you have like a Glimmerlight and a Defaced Gallery, and all of a sudden your 1/1s turn into 3/2 attackers, and that's really nice. So I think I go Fear of Being Hunted, then Scorching Dragonfire. Then I might take Glimmerlight over Most Valuable Slayer, but it's still really good. Both of those cards are nice. Okay, pick 4. This card doesn't really do a ton. It cares about activated abilities of creatures, and that's not really a thing in this set. There's not a ton of activated abilities. Here, there is Hardened Escort. There's Jump Scare. I don't tend to prioritize the 3-drop slot that much other than great cards like Fear of Being Hunted, so I could see Jump Scare being the pick here. I don't like Borlow Bilge's Ripper. I don't really want to just take a random 2-mana 2/2. So I think Jump Scare could easily be the selection. There's also Terramorphic Expanse, but in my aggressive decks, I don't really prioritize these as highly. Like, I'll play one if it's like the on-color duel or things like that, but I don't prioritize it the same way. So I am just going to take a Jump Scare here. Pick 4, a bit early for that, but it's not like there's anything crazy in the pack. There is a Bashful Beastie, but that's not really a great 4th pick either, so I'm still just going to go with this most synergistic direction for the cards I have. Ooh, and now we just get to keep taking strong red cards. There is an Unsettling Twin, so that's a good sign as well. There's also Innocuous Rat, so got to keep our eyes open to Black-Red Sacrifice. Seeing that pick 5, not really a crazy signal, but Piggy Bank and Turn Inside Out both being in the pack is really nice, and Unsettling Twins would be my pick. I think I go Piggy Bank, then Unsettling Twins, then Turn Inside Out. I really like Turn Inside Out with the Clockwork Percussionist, but I don't love it outside of that. I mean, I think it's just solid outside of that. Like, just helps you win combat, keep attacking, but Twins might be a little bit better. And now we're seeing some stuff. So I think we could take Hand That Feeds. There's also Murder and Winter's Intervention. We're not seeing a lot of white. Hand That Feeds is still just a solid attacker, though. But I don't think it's crazy good. I'm going to take Winter's Intervention here. I think it's a nice little kill spell. Maybe Murder's better. In Black-Red Sacrifice, I don't think I'm going to really care about small creatures as much because I should have some dorky little guys to sacrifice. I'll just take the Murder here. This is a pick I'm less certain on. I think that one's close. And now I could take Grab the Prize, or I could just take Winter's Intervention. I think Winter's Intervention is going to be better. I don't think White's being very open. Grab the Prize is not my favorite card. There's a Beastie, but Intervention's fine. And now I can get Turn Inside Out, or I could take Acrobatic Cheerleader. So considering I haven't found White to be too open, and we've gotten a couple of late black cards, and Black-Red is a good archetype, I think I'm just going to take Turn Inside Out here. Even though Acrobatic Cheerleader is fine, we don't really need too many 2-drops. We're kind of in good shape on that. We're wheeling a lot of good black cards. Or not good black cards, but black cards in general. I'm going to take Fear of the Dark. I think it's a better top-end threat than the Snatcher. Though I think Snatcher is totally fine. And then we get a red-black land. So this is the exact sort of case I was talking about, where I'll play this card, and it could be solid, but I'm pretty happy with where we're at. I think getting the Murder, I think having 1 Murder, 1 Winters is better than having 2 Winters. When you have the option for multiples of a card, if it's really good, you'll be happy to have multiples. Like, I would love to have multiple Fear of Being Hunted. But if it's like a close pick, having 1 of each does benefit you in the games where you draw both, so you can line up your answers better with their threats. Okay, I don't like Commune with Evil. I'm just going to take Key to the House in case I get some reason to want to splash. I don't think I'm going to, though. White has not been open at all, so I think we're good with this black-red deck. I don't want to splash this. I could see playing 1 Boiler Bilge's Ripper in black-red. And here we will pass the blue card last. I don't mind showing the person next to me that they can get a good blue card. You never know what's going to push them over the top. Okay. Now, here, I think this is a pretty clear Fear of Missing Out. 2 mana, 2/3 that filters your draw is just really good. And the Delirium is no joke. You can certainly get that to work. There is also Most Valuable Slayer. So that's also a consideration. And after that, there's a Far Distant Third, I think Ticket Booth over the Murder. You don't really need to prioritize removal as highly in this color combo because there's just so much of it. Like, we already have like removal almost without trying. Fear of Missing Out versus Most Valuable Slayer. I do already have the Fear of Being Hunted, but I'm just going to take the Fear of Missing Out. I think this card's just really solid and helps with, not that I have a ton of Delirium, but just helps filter your draw, helps make sure that the things work out. I think Most Valuable Slayer would be a really good card in this deck, though. Just going to build out my early game, though. Premium 2 drops all the way down for now. Now we get another Painter's Studio Defaced Gallery. There's also Scorching Dragonfire and Innocuous Rat. Rat didn't wheel last time. I'm going to take the Studio again here. Just think I'm going to be able to get removal spells like Intervention or things like that later, and the Studio is going to be premium value for my deck. Makes any Clockwork things really good. Okay, now there's Murder versus Impossible Inferno. I'm going to take the Murder here. I think Inferno would be good in this deck, but I don't want as many 5-drops. And especially when you have Painter's Studio, having cheap cards is better to flip over. So let's just evaluate our deck right now. I don't think I want Keys to the House. I will take the Turn Inside Out, though. I would love Clockwork Percussionist. 2 Painter's Studio. Don't really want to play Fear of the Dark. We guess we don't even have to be a black deck, even though black did seem open in pack 1. That, I guess, is another benefit to kind of the flexible direction I'm taking here. Okay, black it is. I think this card's really nice for my deck. It gives me some outs to enchantments that are problematic. Gives me another good removal spell in black. I think Rat would be the next pick out of this pack. I don't think Ragged Playmate does exactly what you want in this strategy, but Rat's pretty nice. You can sacrifice it. It plays great with Turn Inside Out. I think that the Withering Torment's a little bit better. And as I've been saying, you can get your kill spells pretty easily in this color combo. I'm just going to take an Impossible Inferno now. And now I don't really have to worry about removal for the rest of the draft. I've kind of got it all set. I'm really low on creatures, which I don't love, but I could always play the Fear of the Dark that I already have. There is Veteran Survivor, but I've been doing a pretty good job of cutting off black this direction. It seemed more open in pack 1. And pick 6, I'm not going to be seeing a ton of good stuff in this pack anyway, so we're just going to count on pack 3 to get us the over-the-hump power boost, and the rest of this pack is going to be dedicated to just maybe getting a card here, a card there. I think I'll take Let's Play a Game. I don't think it's very good, though. And I guess we'll take the Cultist. We have reasonable Delirium enabling. It gives us multiple threats, which we kind of need. Because it can come back. Murder Wield, but we're just going to take Ticket Booth at this point. Makes a creature. then it gives you something to sacrifice. We don't already have enough murders. Take another Inside Out. Now an Inferno number 2. And I think this card is just horrific, so we're just going to take the Snatcher. Our deck does end up looking more like a control deck at the moment. I don't think we're going to be a clown deck, but we'll take it. Kind of just a controlling deck. Ooh, another Fear of Being Hunted is nice. I would love a Most Valuable Slayer. I feel like taking the Painter Studio over it was fine. 2-drop slot, a little bit light, but we're in fine shape. We've got plenty of removal for this late game. I think 17 lands plus a Spectral Snatcher is going to actually be fine here. My curve is a little high, especially for the Painter Studios. I wonder if it would have been better. Like, in this current build of the deck, I would rather have a Percussionist, and I would rather have a Most Valuable Slayer than these Painter Studios, I think. But that's just the way it's played out. Every pack, I'm just like, oh, is there a Percussionist here I can take? I think I'll take the Hand That Feeds now. I could also take Vile Mutilator. Kind of a top-end card. My deck is a little bit more mid-rangey, but I think getting the cheaper spells is still good with Double Painter's Studio. Okay, now there's another Hand That Feeds. I don't think this is a Ghost Vacuum deck. That card's hard to use. Violent Urge. I already have enough Turn Inside Outs. I don't need the Urge. With Turn Inside Out, this Delirium gets activated relatively easily. So this is a playable deck. We don't have any, like, crazy power outliers. We don't have the MVS combo, which is Most Valuable Slayer. I think we just kind of like identified that red was open, or it seemed relatively open in pack 1. And then it was just like we kind of passed a lot of good red cards because red's a good color, and then black was kind of what we supplemented it with because we were like wheeling murders. So we've got a decent amount of 2-for-1s. These cards are going to be more like late game card advantage. We don't really have any sacrifice stuff other than just like these guys like are fine when we just suicide in our creatures. I took Fear of Missing Out over Most Valuable Slayer. In retrospect, would I rather have a Most Valuable Slayer? And I gain life and opponent loses that much life. I don't have any life gain. It's just a 4-mana 4/3 that dies into something I can sacrifice. This is a land that makes my mana more consistent, which I'm just going to take here because I don't really care about Ticket Booth, but being able to cast Murder seems pretty good. Now Final Vengeance is perfect, just what I needed. A couple Bookworms this pack. Final Vengeance is really good in this shell. Another dual land. Over Grab the Prize. I already have enough playables, so getting this just makes my mana more consistent. We're seeing a lot of good green cards. I could have maybe tried to play green-red. Now we get a Scorching Dragonfire. Very mid-rangey deck here. Geez, red-green was looking pretty open here, I guess. I don't think I'm ever playing 3 of this, but, you know. Geez, green was so open. Well, that's how it goes sometimes. What's my creature count at? 10? I can't afford another murder, I don't think. I'm just going to take the Teddy. It's another artifact creature. Maybe I could have tried to splash green and just gone for a Jund value deck. Fear of the Dark is definitely getting in here. Vicious Clown's going to get in. Not because it's a great card, but just because it gives me more like proactive stuff to do. That gets me up to 13, 14. All right, I have 27 here. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 removal spells is a bit too many, so we're going to have to cut down on those. I didn't see a lot of the cards that I want to combine with Fear of Being Hunted. The only time that I saw Most Valuable Slayers were in packs that had other cards that I wanted. So I have a couple sacrifice things. I got this to sacrifice things and Final Vengeance. And I don't have any like crazy setup cards that are really need to get sacrificed. So this is just going to be a nice control deck, I think. Not a ton of synergy, nothing crazy going on. Overall, pretty reasonable deck. Ooh, Malfunction I will take. Gives me a weird interaction piece, I think. Okay, so I don't think I want too many Infernos. So, 45 cards here. My mana's pretty good for my double black, double red cards. But I still think I want one more red, one less black. Play one Inferno. Like, cut some of the more expensive cards. Especially because I have this, so I can cut a little bit of black mana for that. Could cut the Malfunction. Could cut Teddy. 2, 3, 4. Yeah, I've got plenty of 2-drops, so I don't need the Teddy. I just don't think Vicious Clown's very good here. I'm willing to go a little bit lighter on creatures. Got some good value plays. Maybe I don't need the Inferno. Got so much removal, and then I can cut one inside out. No, I already made all the cuts I needed. Perfect. Okay. Yeah, I think I'm gonna run it like this. And yeah, I will see you folks in the games.
Before I get to the games, I want to give a huge shout out to all of the patrons who support my channel at patreon.com/NicolaiBolas. Because of Patreon support from viewers like you, I'm able to make more high quality videos on a consistent basis, which is great. As a patron, you gain access to cool rewards like my card by card tier list for each set, where I grade each card on an A through F scale, as well as my format thoughts document where I go into more detailed analysis on cards, my big picture thoughts on the format, and how I'm approaching things so you can find more success in your own drafts. I want to give a special shout out to those patrons who support at the credits level. It really does make a big difference. And without further ado, let's get to the games.
Welcome to round 1. We will keep this on the play. Maybe a turn 4 Fear of the Dark. I wish we had any synergy with Fear of being hunted, but it still just hits really hard. Put your opponent in an awkward spot. Sometimes eats a 1/1. I wish I had like some Glimmer Lights or something. But I think this deck ends up being pretty solid. We just have a lot of good cards, a lot of value, a lot of removal, so we're going to hope that that is good enough. Piggy bank. So this can tap for both colors, so that's a really nice helping me curve out here. I don't want to trade Fear of being hunted for the piggy bank. I will still play it post-combat. Marvin, okay. Here, this trade isn't great because a 3/2 for a 2/2 is not a great deal. But that lets me play my Fear of the Dark here, so I don't waste my mana. I do have some ways to discard extra lands, so I don't want to play anything past land 5, really, because I can play my Spectral guy if I draw the thing, but I have the 2/2 Gremlin to discard extra lands. Vicious Clown, sure. Okay, and we have our murder up. If they had double blocked, I was going to murder one of their creatures. Sure. So now this thing will no longer get menace. So if they do attack with the clown, I can kill the piggy bank, and then Fear of Being Hunted can eat their 1/1. Oh. Well, that's interesting. So now they're just dead. 5, 9, 12. There's a classic thing in Magic. Always look for lethal. That was a weird attack regardless. Boom. Got the win. Feels good to get that one. I think the deck is pretty solid. I think playing on the lands is good because of our like 3-mana exile 2 cards, because hitting lands off that in the early turns, like 1 land, 1 spell, is the perfect mix. So 17 lands plus the spectral guy makes it a little bit harder to flood out. A little bit. I've got so many 2-for-1s in this deck, or at least a solid number of 2-for-1s. I cut some of the Infernos, but I feel like there's a good number of 2-for-1s. Good smooth mana. I mean, that game would have been so different if I hadn't had a double, like, second black source, second red source. Those things are just important. And overall, I feel like that played out pretty well. Being patient with the Fear of Being Hunted is very important sometimes. I mean, I wish I had something to combo with it, like a combat, like a equipment or something. But okay, this is a good hand. Here, I think we're gonna discard that to the Spectral Snatcher. I wonder why I'm lagging a little bit. Okay. Fear of missing out will actually discard a mountain now. Actually, yeah, I'm so far away from the 6 mana. I just want to get more spells. Okay, a little bit punished there. Okay. Hugely punished. Turning my combat trick into a kill spell. Playing to the board. I mean, if I hadn't drawn exactly 2 lands there, I think this would have been fine. I just didn't want to... Like, imagine I draw 2 spells there, which is more likely than drawing 2 lands. And then I have to, like, cycle it. It screws up my curve. Here, if I draw, like, a real nice threat here... Yeah, that's bad. That's a bit of a disappointment. Oh, are they just holding up murder or something like that? Ooh, that's a good draw. Sure. We will add to the board proactively. Okay, so now we have Delirium. So next turn when we activate this, we have a lot of flexibility in what we can hit. So they could have a Vanishing something or other. So we want to be careful here. We want to leave up at least one of each, but we do want to maybe make sure we can draw Fear of Being Hunted. Okay. Not the best. Did I misread this? I should have just played the land from exile. I don't know what I was doing there. End of my next turn. Yeah, I have time. Okay, they're in a little bit of dicier shape here. They have to kill this and deploy a blocker for this. Like, this thing is lethal on its own because it's 5. A little bit unfortunate here. We're flooding out a bit. But we've got him down to 2. So Fear of Being Hunted could kill them. A kill spell would win. We have a lot of those. Still have both murders available. Jeez, just the fact that the card's called murder, I just... Someone's got to fact check my sentences a little bit. Ooh, that could be good. So they could have used this, but they chose not to. Okay. Yeah, so they went with the removal spell, which is a safer bet in a lot of cases. But here it might have been better to do this. just because, I mean, I guess they assumed I had a removal spell in hand. They might be like, oh, if they have murder, this is really tough. But now they need 2 blockers or another kill spell. They've already used a few kill spells. Okay, the Oculus. Oh, gosh. So now I need a kill spell. Or that. No, that's not quite... Oh, that is pretty solid, actually, because it'll get buffed up. So everything they have is going to die. Because I couldn't just let them double block here, and then bring the guy back with Valgaboth. Kind of have to kill all the things. Which is just unfortunate that I drew that then. And I can't afford to be patient because this thing's going to manifest and make more blockers. Looking for spells. I feel like this happens to me a decent amount, and I'm not sure if there's like a deck building thing I'm supposed to be doing. Like, I have some sources of ways... Oh my gosh. Well, that's going to lose me the game. Like, I feel like there's this weird tension when I'm playing where it's like, okay, my opponent has 7 lands in play, and I have like a bajillion. Is there a way for me to, like, not have a bajillion lands? Probably. So I kill this, hope to draw a haste creature or something. Oh, it dies for good because it had counters on it. Oh, I died. Okay. Yeah, like that was just the classic. I flooded out there at the end. The one big decision that actually probably lost me the game more than any other was on turn 3 when I decided that the FOMO you have to discard. And I decided to discard the Snatcher. I didn't have any more lands at the time. And then I proceeded to have a game that ended like this, where I had all these lands and I would have loved an extra 6/5 and probably would have won if I'd been able to deploy this. So I'm not sure if that was like that incorrect in the moment, because I feel like there's worlds where I draw 2 spells there and then I'm like, okay, well, I can't actually deploy my hand. But what ended up happening was I drew land, turn inside out, and if I'd just been able to deploy a threat at some point, I could have won that game. So definitely something to consider. I think that was the main decision point that I would have potentially wanted to do differently in retrospect. I think everything else was fairly straightforward. I mean, just unfortunate that I drew so many lands there down the stretch. I mean, I had like 9 lands in play and they had like 6, and they had ramped. So it's just hard to win when you don't have the spells that you need. And they played the Oculus. Like, if they hadn't played the Oculus, like, that card made 2 blockers and they were both like, and one of them was a 5/5. So that was also pretty tough. Okay, this is a good hand. The hand that feeds is pretty okay in my deck. It's not crazy good. Here I'm definitely still in deploy threats mode. Okay. Let's use this to dig for some more threats. I think this is better than playing the other half of the card. So this is bad because they don't actually have anything I can kill. Yeah, maybe I'm not supposed to play that. I mean, I could have just hit a land. Oh my gosh. Why are they playing out creatures? Je ne comprends pas. I guess they don't want me to play like another threat. Yeah, that was weird. They're completely mana screwed. They're saying good game as if this game is over. When it's really not, because I have, once again, not drawn a lot of creatures. I think not having a lot of creatures is a problem in this deck. And I'm going to face it a fairly regular amount. So if they have the Gremlins card, that's really bad for me. Because then they... Okay, so they get a 1/1. I think they don't have anything else to do, though. So I'm just going to go for the win here. Yeah, okay. Let's see if we can... I mean, I flooded out again there. I think maybe I want some Impossible Infernos in my removal suite. Very interesting how this is playing out. I guess when I... Yeah. I think this is the only main top-end card I could add in. That would make some sense. But it's not a creature. Like, I don't have any great creatures. I don't really want to add that guy in. Yeah, so we're just going to keep running it like this and hope that our draws have been weird versus our whole deck is structurally flawed. I think that makes a good amount of sense. And also, like, sometimes your deck just does a certain thing and our deck just kills their stuff. So there's going to be pros and cons to that from a matchup perspective. We don't have... I would have loved to get some more sacrifice synergies or some of the really good black-red cards, but we had, like, maybe... It's like the classic where maybe somebody else was playing black-red at the table and we have, like, the second best black-red deck at the table, but it's still pretty solid. So lots of good card quality. Keeping this for sure. You can't really mulligan 4 lands, 3 spells. If you do, then it means you often built your deck wrong. Ooh, that's a great draw. It's going to let me get rid of one of these lands. Definitely want to do that. Okay, playing against Jund, probably a Delirium deck. That means I'm probably the beatdown roll here. That'd be enchantment creature. They have artifact creature then. Yeah, this seems like a good trade for me. I'm gonna play the Cultist first. I don't want to overtax my black mana. Like, at some point down the line, I can't double spell with both of these. For the first few turns, mana efficiency matters a lot, and then after that, it's like going to be less important for me now. I'm going to get Delirium soon, when I can bring this back if I get double black. Okay, so they might have Delirium already now. Yep, they have Delirium. Sure. So trade it off. Play land. Play Fear of Being Hunted. I know this has haste, by the way. Don't worry. I just don't. I was happy you're trading this off. Because now, like... Okay, so they can force the issue. I will make a 1-mana 2/2. That's still pretty good. Especially because they're a little bit mana screwed, it looks like. These are all spells that I'm going to have to deal with. I would really prefer a swamp in this case. So if they do draw a thing, that I can kill their thing, and then I have my next turn of flipping this face up, hitting them for 8. Or bring back the Cultist. Don't really want to kill that, though. So they might have fear. They might have their own copy of Turn Inside Out, but I don't think so. Definitely better to just make them have it in that case, I think. Because it's one of those things where the delta between it working and it not working is pretty substantial. Interesting. I think the 4-2 Menace actually might have been more important there. You're really getting punished for my over-indexing on mountains. Not being able to cast some of my black spells is a problem. I have 8 damage in play. I have a kill spell. So here's the logic. In my deck, I have 7 more swamps. No, I have 6 more swamps because I think I have 3 non-basic. So I have 8, 6, 3. So I have 5 more swamps plus 3 more dual lands that would make black mana. So that could bring this guy back. So that is a third of my deck. If I draw one of those, I'll be much happy that I Withering Tormented now. So I think I'm going to do that. Because then I have an extra threat they have to deal with. Because these things already can't be blocked. Oh, I'm just getting so absolutely rinsed. Oh, this black mana issue. Maybe I have to just play more balanced because I don't need, like, quadruple red. It's just like, I have these guys that I want to be able to play. Yeah, I need a more balanced mana, I think. Like, could easily lose me the game not having a swamp here. But then again, I could have a spot where I have more swamps than mountains and I lose for that reason. Okay, they Manifest Dread. They really needed kill spells here. Okay, so I got him. Nice. Hand that feeds got the job done. Despite my lack of black mana. Yeah, just... Okay, we're going to add back in a swamp. We have more double black. I didn't remember that this thing needs double black for the activation. Because we do have quite a bit of double red in the deck too, but when you have both, it's probably better to do a mix. I think it's a bit greedy of me to just go the way I have been. Yeah, I'll just go 7/7. Like, I am so much heavier red. Like, I'm going to have to double spell with red way more. Man. But not being able to cast my spells is a pretty big issue. Gosh. I feel like I drew the mountain I needed to cast Fear of. Yeah, this is tough. Huh. We're keeping, but this is super funny to have this happen right after I swapped out one. Swap one out, get max punished, as they say. Okay, never mind, we're chilling. Giving our guy double strike doesn't seem like the end of the world here. We could make this trade. It's not the best trade. Okay, blue-black isn't the best deck, but our hand is really bad, so this could be a quick one. I mean, I would have loved to draw a Fear of missing out. Okay. Fear of Lost Teeth does embarrass Resurrected Cultist. This is like one of our worst cards. Looks like they're holding up a counter spell. Like the double blue counter an enchantment or creature, and I kind of need all my spells to resolve here. I want to murder this nuisance, I think. I think it's far more likely that they have. Sorry. That they have the blue-blue counter enchantment or creature. Or like bounce things to their hand, so Want him to tap a little bit lower here. Also, give him the chance to play like a bigger creature that I can kill with his murder. Is it the other counterspell? Or do they not have anything? Oh, it is the counterspell. Yep. That's unfortunate, because I could have played around that more. And I probably could have deduced that that was the one they had. Okay, put that one down. End turn. Okay. This game's not going great, but getting our double striker rolling could be okay. Can almost kill them out of nowhere. Though this thing's going to stop that pretty effectively. Them swinging is a bit weird. Oh, okay. I'm a little bit shocked they did that. They're going to take a lot of damage here because of that choice. So this can hit them for 8. Then they can hit me for 4, 6, 7. Play this guy and think they feel safe. Maybe turn inside out can get him. Like they attack with this, shrink this guy down. Wow, they're losing the life. Wow. If they think this is going to save them, they're in for a bit of a nasty surprise. I can Final Vengeance it. And I probably will, honestly. So if I draw... Nashi. Oh. Well then. Four, 6, 7, 8, 9. I'm gonna do some fancy footwork here. Because now I get to manifest Dread. That's a huge one to manifest Dread. And then I have Delirium, so I can bring this guy back. But instead, I'm going to bring this guy back. Now he's going to be Menace double strike. And I don't have to worry about my one toughness guy being garbage against this thing. So now she's going to get to do some stuff. If they buff this. There's not a lot of 2-drops that can kill Nashi, so they might just think they can attack with it to look for an enchantment without using the Widow's Walk. That can't block, my friend. And Hand That Feeds getting to attack twice with double strike is really good because it has Menace. So they need like a bunch of blockers. Yep. So this should be good enough as long as Fear of Missing Out works here. Like they don't have a kill spell, but I don't think they can. For 2 blue. Let's go FOMO. Well, I suspect they have the counter spell, but we'll try to resolve this anyway. Okay. Attack with everything. I'm going to target this. And I'm also going to give this one double strike. Oh, whenever you attack. Yeah. So I could give one of them double strike now and one of them double strike later. I think this just kills them though. Because it's 8, so they have to double block it. And they don't have enough blockers to block it the second time it attacks. When it attacks for like 12. Oh yeah, it attacks for even more. And they have to block these. So I think they're dead. Yeah, there's no mathematical way for them to live here unless they have a spell that does something, which I don't think they can. Did I need this to have this work? Because they could have gone here, here. And then this thing would have died. So I might have had to do some different fancy footwork to get this to work. Like I might have had to give this double strike and then this double strike next time. No. Because this 1/4 plus the 1/1 combo blocking this would have been kind of irritating. So I might have had to give this double strike and let this thing attack again. Regardless, they're dead here. I could give this thing double strike and then untap this guy so he could attack again. Then they have to double block this and then this thing attacks again. Yeah, I think it would have been worked out no matter what. Nicely done. That was good. That was a good win. The Tunnel of Hate really performed there. It's like a really nice way to win a board stall, which is sometimes a game state that I don't prioritize enough. Winning board stalls is really important in Magic. If you can have ways to win board stalls, you're in good shape. I've been really liking Black-Red in this format. It feels like it can do a lot of things. Okay, this is definitely a keep. Turn Inside Out, whenever you can play this as like a 1-mana 2/2 creature, that's pretty reasonable. Here, we're on the draw. They're not playing... I mean, this isn't the fastest card. Like, if they use it here, it can disrupt their curve. Ooh. Nice. Well, that is not great, because that could lead to an explosive start, which I don't like to see. Okay, that is pretty good. But at least I can use my Turn Inside Out to stop it, maybe. I'm not going to play around them having a pump spell that protects this. Because I would love to use Turn Inside Out here. This is fine. I Turn Inside Out now. And the next turn I can use Turn Inside Out plus Withering Torment. Put the creature down. Okay, so here I play this land. I would have loved to have an untapped land here, but so I could play Fear of the Dark at some point here. They have a ton of glimmers, but still just getting my guy down. But this thing plus this thing lets me like eliminate their threats a little bit better. Okay, so we're gonna go for the kill spell here. If they have a way to give it hexproof, they have a way to give it hexproof. They do not. And that way we 2-for-1 them. That's huge. A little bit surprised they went for that when I have murder mana up. I'm actually not going to block because then this land comes in untapped. Which is actually really important for me. It's funny, I was playing Magic late at night last night, and I was like, man, Magic is so difficult sometimes. And now that I'm like fully with it, it's so much easier, and I'm just like, oh, right. Being tired makes everything harder. Okay, so I've got a good board state. I can flip this at some point if I need to kill something, like I can kill something big. And, ooh, that is going to be something big. Huh. Unfortunately, you know what? I'm just going to lead. I definitely don't want to let them draw cards. I don't know why I kept up black mana here. That was just bad. So that was a good draw, though. Because now I kill this, sacking this. Go to attacks. And then I play... I really don't want to discard a spell here. If I draw a land, I get like 3 new draws at a reasonable spell. Okay. Now I think they might be dead. Oh, they have so many glimmers. Okay. Target creature, sure. They weren't quite dead. If they had blocked differently. I guess I didn't have triple red to cast this as well. This thing's lethal, this thing's lethal. They don't have a glimmer right now. Sure. I think Turn Inside Out is a really good card, and I've been maybe sleeping on it a little bit too much. Okay, there's a glimmer. Should still be enough to get the job done, though. Got the job done. Huge. Nice victory. I mean, it's just been good, clean Magic. We lost... I mean, we even won the game that we flooded out pretty... Oh, no, we lost one game where we flooded out really badly. But we won one of the games where we flooded out pretty badly. And I feel like our picks paid off pretty much. The exile, the top two cards of our deck card has been pretty good. 5 wins is like successful run. So, hoping for more, obviously. But it's nice to just... Man, just get some wins under my belt. Under my belt. Playing some cards that I maybe was a little bit less high on than I should have been. Getting some more focused gameplay in. Perfect. I have all black spells, but I can keep this. I'm 1 black source away from a murder being on, and now it's on. So we just have kill spells and then a Fear of the Dark. So we're going to look for proactive plays, but against certain matchups, this could be really good. Okay. I will murder it first. And the reason to do that is because this thing has more flexibility and is easier to cast later. Just not that it's going to be relevant because my mana is perfect right now. Okay. I'm just going to pass with Withering Torment up. Okay. Just trying to slow them down a bit. That's bad. Yeah, we could lose this game. 1-for-1 removal does not line up well against Horrid Vigor and Unsettling Twins. And when you're using a big blocker, the baseball bat can get you. Cultist is nice, though. Wow. That tells me they have another one of those. I can't afford to attack because I need them to tap down this and then this thing can block there. Oh, that's bad. I think that's going to be game. This has not gone well. Okay. Spell. Nope. Okay. Just gonna buy myself some time here. They didn't have a creature to play last turn, so we're gonna play one more land here. I would love to draw that room that exiles the top 2. And we're toast. Well, that's how it goes sometimes. Oh, they were just holding spells for no reason. I see. Or no, they drew this card. They had this in hand. That makes sense. Yep. Okay. Well, that one was, again, the floodouts are an issue for this deck when it doesn't draw its value spells, which we did not draw that time. I don't think we could have done a ton differently that game. It was just like the way things lined up. Like sometimes there are some matchups where having a hand full of removal would have been way better. So they just play like, they have a hand that's full of removal. I have a hand that's full of removal. I have way more time to draw my threats and stuff like that. There they had like good diverse answers to my, like good mix of creatures and spells to answer my removal spell heavy hand. This is a great hand. I think I like to lead with Piggy Bank. It just gives me more flexibility, more options. And it hits harder if they don't do anything, so that's kind of how I like to view it. If they play something I can kill with Winters, this is the first time this card has not done something against me. That's kind of funny. I will... Yeah, we will Winters it. Maybe they're missing land. Maybe they miss something and then we can hit them for even more next turn. Meat Locker. See, this is perfect. This is why we wanted to save our fear. It's always important to think, okay, what's the most mana efficient play? And then it's important to think, well, what's going to be the best for me long term? And this is definitely better for me long term. I get 4 damage in. I have an answer for their next threat, whatever it is. 4 damage is no joke. Every point of damage matters in these games. And if you're trying to mine someone out with turn inside out or things like that. So now we hit them for like 8 damage because of the way we've been able to manipulate this situation. Sure. Growing Dread. We're just going to murder that. Oh my gosh. Oh man. That's bad. That's pretty bad for me. Ouch. Is the game over? No. Is it much harder to win now? 100% yes. That was really rough. Instant enchantment creature. I'm actually threatening lethal here. So they hit me for 7. I play this. Mill either a land or a sorcery. Then I have this. This is 4, 10, 13. 3, 5. Wait, am I just... Yeah, I'm bad. Okay. So 7. I'm not going to have the mana to do everything I want next turn, so I'm just going to push through some extra damage here. Put them down to 3. So all of my creatures are going to be lethal now. They don't know that, though. And I have a kill spell. So they could also be lethal, because if this is a 7/6. Okay. 1 and 1, sure. And if I get too low, I can't cast Withering Torment. They're at 3. Murder. Interesting. Very interesting. So... I can go flip this. Attack all. Yeah, I don't think I want to do that. This is going to be a case where I murder this and hope they don't have another combat trick to protect it. Sure. They still only have 3 blockers and I have 4 attackers. What do I want to give a second attack to? This thing, right? I think they're going to have to ultimately realize they can't block Fear of Missing Out. I could have used my removal spell so that I could guarantee some lethal damage, but I can't. I just have to hope their last card doesn't interact with me here. Turn Inside Out has won me so many games. Oh my gosh. I keep winning with this card. It is so clutch. Wow. I was... Not that I was not playing it, but like... That card has just won me like 5 games. Or 4 games. Where like... It was going to be hard to get the last points of damage in. And I got an extra 6 points from that. From the one the turn before. And now we're fighting for the trophy. This is great. This is great. Really happy about this. Okay, this is definitely a keeper. This hand is really good, actually. We're going to be able to enable Delirium. We're not going to be able to flood out, really. We go 2-drop, 3-drop, double 2-drop. And then we are off to the races. Okay, start with Gremlin. Sure. Playing against green-white. Oh, that's perfect. Okay. Start with this. I guess it doesn't really matter the order I do this. I should probably just get in the habit. Okay, Manifest Dread, a instant first. Actually, I was going to discard a land, so I should have done this the other order. Yeah. I should have Manifested Dread the land, so I could have an instant in the graveyard. Always got to be thinking, this is a complicated format. Like, those sorts of small edges can make or break. Okay. Play this. Discard. Mountain. Draw. This. Draw. This. Combat. Attack. They kill my guy. That's actually okay with me. Hand that feeds. So I've got creature and land in here so far. If this dies, I'll have instant, or if I just play one of these. Sure. Maybe I was supposed to play this just so I could get closer to Delirium. It is crazy the difference here. Oh no, I already have instant. Never mind. If I get to use a Manifest Dread though, then we're cooking. And they know I have spells in hand because otherwise I'd play the land so I could get closer to this. Wow, that's their best play. That's crazy. Okay, we'll Manifest Dread this. Get an enchantment in the graveyard for this. Got the win. Nice. I think they were mathematically not quite dead, but it was close. I did have fun because I could buff up. I can attack with both and untap Fear of Missing Out. And then after they blocked this 2/2, I could buff up this thing. So I might have been able to kill them there. Actually, I did have them dead. No, I was one off. Yeah, I think my best chance at getting lethal there. Oh no, because they did that on their turn, so I was gonna have this guy as an attacker too. So I attack with all, they block, and then untap this guy. It makes no sense for them to block, so they block here, and then I pump up this guy. And then I win. Yeah. Nicely done. Huge. Got a trophy. I'm really happy with that. I mean, yeah, that feels really, really good. I kind of wanted, I feel like that was good for my psyche there. Whew. Well, if you made it to the end of this video, in the comments section down below, leave hashtag outplayed because it was all about the turn inside outs in this draft. 3 of those really did good work. I felt like Fear of Missing Out was also really good, so I guess that's another out. Lots of outs in this one. The Ticket Booth did some good work. The Painter Studio, I think, was a good addition. I think it was the correct pick in retrospect. It was really nice. The Cultist was not the best, but, you know, we had good removal, good value, and kind of got the job done. So this was really, really fun. I hope you enjoyed the video. Remember, if you did enjoy it, hit the thumbs up button, subscribe for more, and comment with your questions, thoughts, and feedback. That's going to do it for this one, though. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll talk to you next time.